Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are live and we are ready to rock and roll. Today is Monday. It's Millionaire Monday. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. If you are coming on, please hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly, everybody, and let them know Prophet Ramon, the squad, we are live on this beautiful Millionaire Monday right here in the Buckhead community of Atlanta. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, to the Ramonepreston Show. I'm super excited. This is going to be an amazing show. It's going to be an amazing week. So I want you to hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly, everybody, huh? Yep, I'm on. I'm live. We are on and we are live. Yes, we really live right here on the Ramonepreston Show. We are live. I have it. Okay, well, if I haven't, you need to look again. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're live. My team trying to figure out if I'm live, but I'm live. And if you're watching the show today, please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly, everybody. Like, share, tag somebody in the comments, especially someone you know who needs to hear what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, and while you're at it, please, could you put in the comments what city you're watching me from today? What city are you watching me from today? I appreciate all of you for your support, for your love, for your prayers, all of you that participate in our programs, all of you that continue to engage on social media with us. You give us feedback, you send us questions, you give us comments. And by the way, all of you that are giving reviews on Google, thank you so much for your Google reviews. If you haven't been able to leave a review, please visit Google, and all you have to do is type in Ramonepreston Enterprises. So when you go to Google, type in Ramonepreston Enterprises, and I'm going to pop up. My company is going to pop up. And typically, when you type in Ramonepreston Enterprises and on Google and my name and my business shows up, it gives you an option to leave a review or some type of star review. So we would love the reviews from all of you that have participated in any of our programs. So if you've joined a live event, if you watch the show and you get value from the show, if you are a client in our program, if you are a student in our university, please, if my wife and I and my team and organization have done anything for you, please be sure to leave us a review. Your Google reviews are very, very important, because all of us, when we look for somebody, we go to Google and we look at the reviews. And if somebody has bad reviews, then, you know, we're not going to do business with them. So I would really love for you to leave us a Google review and just let the world know that we're doing a great job and that we're providing value to our community. And also, I want to make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube page. Like, we're almost at 10,000 subscribers. So we want to get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, but we need you to click that button and subscribe. Now, again, when you subscribe on YouTube, when you leave a Google review, they're owned by the same company. Google and YouTube is owned by the same holding company. So a lot of times they're going to require you to give us your name and your Gmail login. So please just take a few minutes, log into your Gmail account, leave me a Google review, and subscribe to my YouTube page. Those few minutes that you spend supporting me and my organization, they go a long way, because you give other people the confidence and you give them the assurance that we are legitimate, and people need to know that, especially in today's world. We got a lot of internet gurus. We got a lot of people who on social media just lying and capping and faking it. And we need to show that there are some authentic people in the marketplace that's doing great work for the community. And your subscriptions on YouTube, your Google reviews mean the world to us. So I would love and appreciate you doing that. All right. So with that being said, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you don't know, now you know. I'm your host, Ramonepreston. Okay. Every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. We show up here live. I mean, literally every Monday through Friday. I take about an hour out of my day when we have a lot going on. I mean, midday, I take an hour out of my day to stop, to come into the studio and to just share information with you that I know can help you properly start, properly structure, and at some point scale your business. If you have a business, your ministry, if you have a ministry, your income streams, whether you have a business or ministry or you don't have either one, guess what? You have income dreams, you have wealth building dreams, you got things that you want to do in your life, and it's going to require the right information, it's going to require the right strategies, the right solutions, and it's going to require a lot of legwork. And when you can get valuable information and insight from someone like myself who has accomplished that, I have succeeded, and I continue to grow as a person. I continue to grow as a ministry and nonprofit executive. I continue to grow as a CEO and a business owner. And I want my community, you and the rest of our community, to grow as well, because we need to leave legacies. And guess what? We don't want to just leave a legacy. We want to live our legacies. So today is going to be a special show, because what we're doing is we're taking all this week, today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way up to Friday, and we're going to dedicate the show every day to our countdown, because this upcoming Friday and Saturday, I'm hosting a 2-day event, and it's going to be an amazing event. Like, there are things that are going to happen this weekend that we haven't even announced. We haven't even shared with the public on how big of a deal this weekend event is. It's a 2-day event. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that today and tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, leading up to Friday. And I really want you to have an open mind, have an open heart, have open ears, so that you can hear what needs to be heard, because I believe those of you that gravitate to someone like me, those of you that have an open mind and an open heart and open ears to hear someone like me at this point in your life, I believe God has drawn you to me to hear these words so that He can put you on the path to your promise, to get you to your prophesied place. I truly believe it. Now, whether you are convinced of that or not, I'll say this respectfully, that's not as important as it is for me to be convinced, because I know what God is doing in my life. I know what God is doing in my organization and in our community. And our community is not just a business community. Our community is a ministry community. So if you're watching the show this particular week, okay, I want you to understand a few things. Today is Monday, July the 18th. And every day this week, from today all the way up to Friday, the 22nd, you're going to be hearing me talk about ministry. You're going to be hearing me talk about business. And there are some reasons why. So if you are very interested, or maybe you're just already connected to what I'm talking about when it comes to doing the work of God and doing ministry and planting churches and serving our community and changing the world and getting that money, getting that bag, building businesses and doing what we're supposed to do in the marketplace. If you believe that there's something that God is putting you to be a leader in both of those areas, you know you're called to do something great for the world. And it may be ministry. It may be servanthood. It may be some type of leadership. And it may be a spiritual work that God has given to you. And you know God is giving you ingenuity. He's giving you creativity. You're an entrepreneur, or maybe you're an intrapreneur, and you work with people who are in the faith community. I'm a Christian, so when I say faith community, of course, I'm talking about people who are in the Christian community and who are saved and who love Jesus and who love the church. But guess what? If you are a person of faith and you resonate with me on any level, well, you just eat the meat and spit out the bones. But I really want to preface this whole week by saying every day I want to help build to what we're going to be doing this Friday and this Saturday, because I truly believe God is shifting us into a new season. He's shifting us into a new era. And in order for us to move into this season, into this new era, we're going to have to understand ministry and marketplace. We're going to have to understand both. We can't just understand ministry and church and doing the things that we've done in the Christian community. We've got to understand marketplaces. We got to understand business, entrepreneurship, investing. We got to understand the world of wealth building, and we have to protect and preserve the integrity of both and know how to bring those together the right way so that we can make the impact we're supposed to make in the world. So I want to start out with that, okay? Now, if you have not registered or RSVP'd for my upcoming events, I have an event on Friday, this Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. right here in Buckhead at the Marriott Buckhead Conference Center. And Saturday, I have an event. So this Friday, I'm hosting a one-night revival. And guess what? Even if you're not a church person, well, you still need some spiritual impartation. Even if you're not saved, you still need some type of inspiration. You need some motivation. You need some empowerment and some encouragement. But if you love God and you in the church and you saved and you truly believe that God is dealing with his people and you to get you to that next level, I want you to join me this Friday. I'm going to be hosting a one-night revival on Friday. July the 22nd, 7 o'clock p.m. All you have to do is go to Ramonepreston.com/event right here. There's the website, Ramonepreston.com/event. And you will see that we have 2 events on that page. You're going to see our revival for this Friday. It start at 7 o'clock p.m. It's a live in-person event that we're hosting. We're going to be praying. We're going to have some praise and worship. We're going to be prophesying and preaching and laying hands and speaking in tongues and shouting and dancing. And we're going to be making impartations into people. And we're going to be activating the people of God. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're a Christian, you're a man or woman of faith, and you know that God is giving you something powerful and you have been struggling to get that thing off the ground, you feel like you ain't getting no momentum, you feel like things ain't working for you, and you feel like the enemy is just attacking you and fighting you on every hand, well, you need to be with me and the rest of this next level tribe that we're going to be coming together for on Friday so that you can get you a prophetic word, but more importantly, with that prophetic word, you get impartation, you get an activation, you get what you need for the task at hand. So you go to Ramonepreston.com/event. Okay, Ramonepreston.com/event. And you're going to see our one-night revival this Friday, July 22nd, at 7 o'clock p.m. And then you will also see this upcoming Saturday on the 23rd, July 23rd, this Saturday, we're hosting a Millionaire Mastermind. We're hosting a Millionaire Mastermind. This is going to be a 4-hour deep dive. And this deep dive is going to be powerful because I'm going to be talking to you in this deep dive about how to really reset your spirit, how to reset your mind, how to reset yourself all around, how to set the right financial targets, how to set the right goals so that you can have a game plan to get to those goals and reach those targets, how to start and structure a holding company, how to position yourself in the marketplace with your holding company so that you can have more value in the marketplace. We're going to be talking about pricing your products and services, packaging your products and services. We're going to be talking about how you present your products and services through your marketing and through your branding. We'll be talking a little bit about sales and making sure that you have systems and processes for your marketing and for your sales. We'll be talking about how you run your operations on a day-to-day basis. These are things that I teach in my university. These are things that I provide as solutions and strategies for my coaching clients and consulting clients. So the information I'm sharing with you is not some watered down version of like what I Googled and what I copied and paste. It's what I teach. It's what I live. It's what my students and my clients live by. And it's working for us. And so I want it to work for you. But you have to RSVP. You have to RSVP. Both events are free. So this Friday revival that we're hosting is free. This Millionaire Mastermind that we're hosting Saturday is free. So you just need to go to Ramonepreston.com/event. Ramonepreston.com/event. So you can register, RSVP, and we will secure your spot. And we're going to make sure that you get what you need when you show up. Okay, so I'm super excited about that. Now, for the last couple weeks, we have been in we've been in what we've called a campaign for fast tracking to financial freedom. So the last couple weeks, this is our third week, we've been on this fast track to financial freedom campaign. And just in case you haven't been following me for the past couple weeks, I put this campaign together 3 weeks prior to this weekend event because I wanted to give you an opportunity to get information and motivation and inspiration all together, because right now, just in case you ain't been paying attention to what's going on in the world, we seem to be in a recession. We seem to be living in uncertain times. And when we get into times like we're in right now, uncertain times, times of cultural and economic chaos, times of political unrest, global unrest, what happens is it tends to force most people into contraction. That's literally what a recession is. A recession, the root word is recess. So a lot of times people go on recess. They wait until the market changes. They wait until things, until things get better. But what they don't understand is there's more going on than what you see on the surface. Now, if you are a Christian, if you are spiritual, if you are in the faith community, you should be aware of these things, because the Bible says we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. I told you all this week leading up to my Revival Friday and my Millionaire Mastermind Saturday, I'm going to be preaching / teaching and training you on my show every day. So if you don't like the churchy stuff, if you don't like the spiritual stuff, if you don't like all the God stuff, then I'm not the person for you. But if you know this is a part of your success, this is a part of your momentum, this is a part of how you're going to pivot and begin to make progress, because you understand the other side of what's going on. So the Bible says we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So that means there are demonic things going on. There are satanic systems and infrastructures that have been designed. They have been built to keep you and I from getting successful, from making progress. You know why? I'm going to tell you one reason why. One reason why is because the enemy, Satan, and the systems that he has built on this planet, he knows that when you get successful, other people get successful. When you do good, other people do good. Ain't it true? Like every time I do better, other people around me do better. Every time I come up, other people around me come up. And it's always that way, especially when you're dealing with godly people. Those who are godly, those who are spiritual minded, those who understand their God-given purpose, when God blesses them with resources, with money, with favor, with opportunities, with open doors, guess what they do? They always facilitate other people's success as well. I've never been around a Christian, a spiritual minded believer, someone who had a relationship with God that didn't want to make other people's lives better. So if you're living your life in a way that you have a relationship with God, you are spiritually minded, you are of the faith community, you know God is giving you a purpose. He's called you, He's assigned you, He's anointed you, He's equipped you, He's giving you the capacity and the capability of doing something great. You should already know the enemy don't want you to win. The enemy don't want you to succeed. The enemy don't want you to come up. This is one of the reasons why we should not be ignorant of Satan's devices. Now, there's another scripture in the Bible that says that there was a certain group called the Sons of Issachar. This is in the Old Testament. There was a group of guys, they were called the Sons of Issachar, and they were men who understood the times, meaning that they were very aware, they were very woke, they were cognizant, they were spiritually intelligent, they had divine intel on what was going on. And because they knew the signs of the times and they could discern things from a spiritual perspective, they knew how to move in a way other people didn't know how to move. Now, you might think this has nothing to do with business. You might think this has nothing to do with you becoming a millionaire. You might think this has nothing to do with your economic success, when the truth is it has everything to do with business, everything to do with you being a millionaire, everything to do with your economic success and freedom. You know why? Because as a spiritual minded individual who has the capacity to discern and see what's going on, you have leverage in the marketplace. Do you hear what I'm saying? You have leverage in the marketplace. One of the reasons why I believe I have been able to navigate through certain things in the marketplace that would have otherwise cause my business to go bankrupt or cause me to retract and go back and fail is because of the divine intel, the spiritual capacity that I have, that God has given to me to know how to move and pivot and operate in any environment or in any economic situation and circumstance. It's always been like that for me, because you know why? It's always been like that for all of God's people. Now, with that being said, some of you are experiencing weariness right now. You feel like you ain't got the strength to keep going. Everything keep coming at you. Everything keep hitting you. It just seems like ain't nothing working, especially if you are a believer and you got a business that you're trying to get off the ground. You can't get no money. You can't get no funding. You can't get no support. Nobody wants to buy your products and services. You can't make the ends meet. You're working a job that ain't paying you enough, and you just under pressure. You're stressed. You're overwhelmed. But the Bible says, don't get weary in well-doing. You will reap if you faint not. And so I want you, at least today, if you could just show up to the show every day. I'm going to be talking about all these things every day this week. I want you to, at least today, find the strength. Just find enough strength to say, you know what? If I can't do nothing else this week, today, I'm going to make a decision to join Prophet Ramonepreston, because if I can get in the presence of other spiritual-minded people, if I can get in the presence of people who have a relationship with God, who believe they hear from God, and who understands what God is doing with his people in this season, maybe, just maybe, I can get out of this rut. Maybe I can get this burden up off of me. Maybe I can shake this thing off and start moving in the direction of my destiny. So I want you to take me up on that. So first of all, I want you to make sure that you register, RSVP, because I want you to get what you need. I truly believe that there is a remnant. There's a demographic. There's a group of people on this planet, people who love God, people who believe they have a calling of God, people who have this God-given assignment to do ministry and to do business. I believe this is the season that we are going to see this demographic, this group of people, this remnant rise up. But as God raises you up, you're going to need more than just a prophetic word. You're going to need more than just some divine revelation. You're going to need more than just some insight into what you know in your spirit God is doing for you. But what you're going to do is you're going to take that revelation, you're going to take that insight, and you're going to complement it with information, with intelligence, with the skill sets and the practices that are necessary to get you to moving forward. So there's a story, one of my favorite stories in the Bible is when God spoke to Moses to go to Pharaoh and to tell Pharaoh to let his people go. I think we all are familiar with that story, right? So God goes to Moses and he tells Moses, I want you to go to Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Well, Moses going back and forth with Pharaoh and Pharaoh, you know, Pharaoh's like bucking. Pharaoh's like, no, bro, we're not finna let y'all go. We need y'all. Y'all are slaves. Y'all are subjected to our system. You know, we got you in bondage. You know, y'all make us better. Why are we going to just let you go and be free? Well, it's very similar to what we see happening today. There are demonic, satanic systems and infrastructures that have been built. Whether we want to call them demonic or satanic or not, they are. They're being influenced by the devil. They're being influenced by satanic plots and plans and schemes to keep you and I down. And this is, of course, racial. Yes, it is for many of us, especially in the United States of America, but it's also spiritual. It's not just racial, it's spiritual. So if you're black and you are a person of faith, then you got a double whammy coming against you. But it's not like you can't overcome it. I've proven that because I come from a world and a life that there was no human possibility of me ever becoming successful, being a millionaire, or even just being stable. It was not even an option. Not when you're coming from a world of drug addiction and crime and homelessness and poverty and extreme difficult situations and circumstances. But guess what? By the power and the grace of God, I was able to take what God allowed me to get access to, and I used it, and I implemented it, and I executed it, and I remained committed and consistent with it, and as a result, I'm standing before you today, okay? So if you're weary, if you feel like you're spinning your wheels and you ain't really getting where you want to go, there's some things that you got to work on, and we need to work on these things even before we start working on these other things, because here's what a lot of people do. A lot of us, we've been doing this, and we're going to reset this thing, especially this week. I want to use this whole week to reset it. So again, if you go on this journey with me starting today, the first thing I want you to do is RSVP to the revival and to the Millionaire Mastermind. And don't give me no lame excuse talking about you ain't got the time. You don't have the time not to. Well, I can't afford to. It's free. All you got to do is invest time and effort to show up so you can get the strength, get the impartation, get the information. Give yourself the opportunity. You owe yourself this. So now that you have set your mind that, you know what, I'm going to show up with Prophet Ramon Friday. I'm going to come to the revival. I'm going to show up with Prophet Ramon Saturday. I'm going to come to the Millionaire Mastermind. And again, if you don't believe that God has called you to be successful in the marketplace and to make an impact through ministry, through being a Christian, don't mean you got to have a ministry. It don't mean you got to have a nonprofit. So when I talk about ministry and marketplace success, I'm not telling you that you got to own a business necessarily or you got to own a ministry. What I'm telling you is, even if you don't own a ministry or a business, you still need to lead in the ministry and the marketplace. And the way you lead is through your influence. So your success becomes influence for others' success. Your leadership becomes influence for others' leadership. Each one reach one, and when you reach one, you teach one. So you can't give other people what you don't got. So once you set your mind that you showing up Friday and Saturday, now we want to walk through every step of this process, starting today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, leading up to Friday. So today, even before we talk about all the little ins and outs and nuts and bolts of business, a lot of that stuff ain't working for people because they don't have a foundation. Do you hear what I'm saying? So I can talk to you about, well, you need to start a holding company. I could talk to you about, well, you need a sales system. You need a sales process. You need to learn how to market. You need this, you need that. All that stuff is true. But none of that really works in the life of a believer, of a man or woman of faith, when they don't have a spiritual foundation. Because there's a lot of things you've been programmed to believe and to not believe that are keeping you from making those things work. So if you got the best products and services, you can have the nicest name for your business. You can have the most amazing setup for your organization. You got your website, your domain, you got all this stuff. Your cards are polished. Your bio is on point. Everything is just nice. Here's the problem. You don't have a spiritual foundation. It still don't work. See, here's where a lot of people get it twisted with me. Because people look at me and listen to me and they be like, oh man, he always talking about money. He always talking about business. He talking about he a millionaire. He the mogul. He this, he that. But see, you don't know what my foundation is. See, if you judge that prematurely and you don't know what kind of spiritual foundation I got, you gonna get it twisted. See, I can be as bold as I am about business. I can be as aggressive as I am about selling products and services and marketing and being a social media influencer for my people and building businesses and talking about wealth and getting the bag. And I can be bold and aggressive with all those things because I know the time and the effort and the commitment and the dedication and the resources and what I put in for my spiritual foundation to be solid. So now when I come into the marketplace through social media or in person or whatever, and I start talking about my business, my products, my services, getting the bag and this and that, sales and marketing and operations and finances and tax strategies and holding companies, I can do that with such boldness and with such aggression because I am fueled by a solid foundation that I know is immovable. It can't be moved. You're not going to shake me. It's like my wife was preaching about it yesterday. I got this knowing in my knower that I know God got me. I know God going to keep me. I know God going to sustain me because he's brought me through too much. He brought me from near death situations. He brought me out of those situations. He brought me out of sin. He brought me out of addiction. He brought me out of a life of poverty and just perpetuating generational curses in my life that my parents suffered from and my grandparents and so forth and so on. And then he brought me into this world of ministry and service and leadership and entrepreneurship. And he gave me this spiritual perspective about what I'm doing. So my foundation is solid. And guess what? If your business is suffering, if your job opportunities are suffering, if your financial situation is suffering, even before you start working on some of those mechanics, some of those tactics, some of the nuts and bolts and ins and outs of the basic things that you have to do on a practical level, guess what? You got to get your spiritual foundations situated. You got to get that situated because spiritually, I'm talking about it this week. So again, if you don't want to hear it, then I'm just not the person for you. But spiritually, so let's just sit there right there for a minute. And if you listen, I don't know how you feel about what I'm saying, but whether you agree or disagree with me, I would love for you to leave some comments or give me some feedback on what your thoughts are about what I'm saying, whether you agree or not. Okay, I mean, I listen to everybody's opinions and perspectives, whether I agree with it or not. I don't have to accept it, but I'll listen to it, I'll read it, I'll take a look at it to see where you're coming from. Of course, if you're in agreement with me, it's like, oh, okay, you get it, you feel me, you understand, because I know it works for me. So I don't care if it don't work for somebody else. I know it works for me. So it's the responsibility of someone who gets the information that I'm sharing and sees if it works for them. It works for me. So all I can do, like any person that you find on social media, all we can do is just give you what we got. And you got to take it and decide if it's going to work for you. We can't make it work for you. I don't care how much you pay for what courses or programs or services from somebody. We can't make it work for you. You're the only person that's going to make it work for you. But here's what my point is, because I want us to talk about all these things and build something successful this week leading up to Friday and Saturday. You gotta make a decision. You gotta make a decision that spiritually you understand the purpose of success. Money, wealth, business, all these things. I could just keep naming entrepreneurship, investing, but you've got to see these things from a spiritual perspective. Right here, spiritual. Do you see? This is a question I'm asking you because you need to correct this now. You need to correct this now. And if you are in agreement and in alignment with what I'm saying as a prophet that God is doing with his people in this season, like we're moving into a new season, we're moving into a new era as Christians, as church people, as believers. And I know this. I know this because I'm seeing it, okay? That you and I have an opportunity to experience certain things economically that we've never experienced as church people and Christians before. We have an opportunity, and I'm not just talking about a select few people. I'm not just talking about a handful of people who pop up and they become giants and global names and the biggest figures. Like, that's going to happen. But there's going to be a whole new wave of people like you, everyday people who love God, everyday people who have faith, everyday people who want to serve their family and serve their church and serve their community and change the world. You are the kind of people that God is raising up in this season, and you're gonna set a dynamic in motion for a new era to open up. But in order for you to be a part of that, you got to reconcile this. You got to make this correction here. You got to check the box that your success is spiritual. You got to associate success with your spirit, with your spirituality. You have to understand that being successful is a part of my spiritual duty. It's a part of my spiritual obligation. You gotta connect the two. And again, if you're having a hard time connecting the two, it's one or two things. It's either not for you. Maybe you're just not the person that this applies to. Okay, so we'll just rule you out. If you can't see your success as a spiritual obligation, then maybe this ain't for you. And truthful, if you feel like it ain't for you, you're probably just denying it. So it ain't really one or the other. But the other thing would be, you know it's for you, you're just spiritually blinded. So you may be spiritually blinded by religious beliefs. You may be spiritually blinded by how you were raised. You may be spiritually blinded by bad data, or wrong data, or not enough of the right data, okay? So like there's been this big thing lately, we've been seeing all on the internet about people paying their tithes and giving their offerings, and is it a legal issue or a grace issue? When, okay, if you're struggling with that, it's because of the side you're on. So for me and my wife and my family and my tribe, we tithe. We give 10% of our income to our churches. You know why? Because we believe it. And we know it's not what we do that makes us the righteous. We do it because we are righteous. So I'm not paying tithes because I don't want God to blow my tire out, and I don't want God to make my cable bills go through the roof and all this crazy stuff. No, I give my tithe because, number one, of my relationship with God. I love God. I love his church. I love his people. And I want to support the kingdom. I want to support the church. I want to support the work of the Lord. And that's just it. So my point in bringing that up is success for me is a part of my spiritual obligation. So just as going to church is a part of my spiritual obligation, praying is a part of my spiritual obligation, fasting when God calls a fast is my spiritual obligation, loving people is my spiritual obligation, having compassion for orphans and widows and those that are less fortunate and serving those communities. All of these are a part of my spiritual obligation. Okay, it's a part of my spiritual obligation to be faithful to my wife. It's a part of my spiritual obligation to love my wife and to treat her like Christ loved the church, and to love and serve my children and my family, and to live a life of integrity. All of these things that I'm mentioning are a part of my spiritual obligation. So I'm obligated to do these things. So even if I don't want to do it, I feel a spiritual obligation to do it because I don't want to fail God, and I don't want to fail what I believe is my spiritual obligation. Well, the same should be about success. I'm telling you, if you can make sense of this and correct this in your mind from a spiritual perspective, you're going to soar. You're going to soar. Most people, let me start breaking this down a little bit for you. Most people who are Christians, who are people of faith, who have a relationship with this sovereign, universal God, most people like that who have an issue with success, most people like that, they have that issue because they have the wrong perspective about success. They think it's not spiritual. They think it's worldly. They think it's demonic. They believe success ruins you, and because you're just going off of information you see on the internet or things you see in the world, or just because a couple pastors and church leaders and Christians, went left and fell off because they got successful. Now you have this fear about success. No, I don't want to get successful because it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than it is for a rich man. That doesn't even apply to your spiritual obligation to be successful. It has nothing to do with you. You just misappropriated and miscontextualized a scripture you read or you heard somebody say, and they had no idea what they were talking about. And then you take all this advice from people about money who ain't got no money, who ain't never had no money. You take all this advice from people about success and wealth and business from people who ain't got none. So they can't give you this advice. So here's what my point is. I want you to work on checking that spiritual box to make sure, if you're a Christian believer, do you see success as your spiritual obligation? Do you see money as a vehicle to help you further fulfill your spiritual assignment, your God-given purpose? Because see, if you're struggling with what I'm saying, it's because of what you've heard. It's because of bad information. That's all it is. And this is what's stopping your business from growing. See, a lot of people don't want to talk about this because, see, I be on my show a lot. I'm talking about sales and marketing and operations and finances and holding companies and systems and all this stuff. But when you peel all that back and you get down to the nitty gritty, a lot of you that watch me, you're Christians, you're people of faith, you are men and women of God, and you're wondering why things are not working for you financially. You wonder why things ain't working for you professionally. You wonder why things are not progressing and moving forward for you economically. A lot of it stems from the fact that you have an issue You have an issue associating your spiritual obligation to success, to money. Wealth is a part of your spiritual obligation. I'm telling you, I know what I'm saying. I've seen it too many times. Business, understanding business, growing in business, being a part of this marketplace opportunity is your spiritual obligation. All this should be a spiritual obligation for you. And again, if you live in a third world country where ain't no money, ain't no economy, and you just happen to find a phone and watch the internet and you landed on me, maybe this don't apply to you. But then the fact that you got the information now, it does apply to you. So you can't even give me that lame excuse. So here's what I want you to work on, the spiritual side of this. Work on that, spiritual, okay? Here's the next one. The next one is mental. Mental. Are you, I'm gonna put these words over here. Success. Put money. Put wealth. Put business. I put these things. And then I'm gonna put over here, I'll put spiritual. This is the box you gotta check. I'm gonna put mental. Box you gotta check. I'm gonna put environmental. This is the box you gotta check. Just make sure you got all these boxes you could check. And then we have emotional. Another box you got to check. And I give you this box too. I put professional. So now when it comes to these things here, can you see success, money, wealth, and business as a part of your spiritual obligation? You got to be willing to check that box. Okay? Mentally, you got to get mentally engaged and involved with success. Because success, money, wealth, business, all these things are not just a part of your spiritual obligation, but they play a big role in where you are mentally. So now it's more of a mental game than it is practical. Because again, if you're having a problem selling, if you have a problem building a business, if you got a problem growing in your profession or on your job, or financially you're struggling and you're not able to find your way, it's probably because some of these things that you're struggling in is because you don't have these boxes checked. So how mentally involved are you with success? Have you won the mental game of success? Because if you're not winning the game mentally, you're probably not winning it professionally. You're probably not winning it environmentally, emotionally, all of these areas. So I want to get some feedback from those of you that are watching. If you understand what I'm saying to you, and if what I'm saying to you is resonating with you, I would love to get some feedback from you. Or maybe you got some questions. Maybe you got a question on what we're talking about. If you have a question on it, I want you to drop the question in the comments. I will be more than happy to answer any of your questions. But again, every day this week, I'm going to be talking about this, okay? I'm going to be sharing with you information that I want you to have a solid foundation. But if you're gonna sell products and services, if you want to be better in your career, if you want to get your finances right and be free and get out of debt and all these things that you want to do, this should be your foundation. Your foundation should be this. Your foundation should be this. I need a spiritual foundation. So I've got to learn how to associate success with my spiritual obligation, money with my spiritual obligation, wealth with my spiritual obligation, business, commerce, being successful and being great in the marketplace, whether it's marketing, whatever it is, I've got to associate it with my spiritual obligation. But then I got to mentally get in it. I got to check in mentally. You ever walked in a room, and have you ever walked in a room and physically you were there? Daughter, can you bring me that cord? Can you bring me the power cord from inside? Yeah, for my MacBook. So have you ever walked in a room, and when you walked in the room, you were there physically, but you really wasn't there mentally? Like mentally you had checked out. You was like, yeah, this ain't it. Because this is the same way. Success is a room. Having money is a room. Being wealthy is a room. Making an impact in business is a room. The other one. Yeah, the one that's in the conference room. Yeah, it's got a different plug on it. The power cord. So all of these are rooms, right? Well, you got to mentally be able to walk in that room and not just walk in that room physically. So even before I walk in the room of success physically, I got to walk in there mentally. I got to know success is my portion. I got to know having money is a part of who I am. I got to know wealth and business and being great in these areas. Thank you so much. Can you plug that up for me? How you doing? Miss Toretta Lynette is in the house. She is in the room, physically and mentally. Hey. So thank you so much, daughter. I appreciate that. So you got to walk in these rooms mentally. Now, don't stop here, because this is your homework assignment for the day. Because every day this week, we want to build up to what we're going to be doing Friday and Saturday, okay? Environmental. Now there's an environmental responsibility and obligation you have, because if you have your spiritual obligation for these things checked, mentally checked, now environmentally, you're going to start feeling uncomfortable when you get around certain people who still talking like where you used to be, right? Now you got to surround yourself. And if you say this, oh, I can't surround myself with millionaires and people who are succeeding because I don't have the money to, or, they don't pay attention to me. Well, people will pay attention to you if you pay. So all you church folks got to get out of not wanting to pay. I'm going to say that again. All you church folks and all you Christians, you got to get out of not wanting to pay to get in certain environments. You have to get out of that, because if you have a problem paying to get in certain rooms, especially when you understand what your purpose is and where you're going, if you have a problem paying, and whether you're paying for a conference, or whether you're paying to go to an event, or whether you're paying to have a mentor or a coach, or to be a part of a mastermind, why won't you pay to be in an environment that can get you to where you want to go? Come on. If you have a problem doing that, it's because mentally and spiritually you ain't checked the boxes. Because you shouldn't have an issue paying to get in certain environments, right? But then emotionally, why do you want to be emotionally attached to success, money, wealth, and business? Because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. I'm telling you, just having a moral responsibility or obligation, or just feeling like this is the right thing to do, it ain't enough emotionally. It's like having a car and thinking, oh, I'm gonna drive my car on fumes. No, I need gas. I need something to give me the gas. I need fuel. You get what I'm saying? So you gotta get gas. So now you gotta get emotional. You gotta get your emotions involved. If you've been around me, and here's the thing, what you see from me when you see me on social media is what you see from me when you see me every day. Whether you show up to my office, whether you show up to my church, whether you show up at an event, I'm gonna do me and be me. How you doing, Ramon? Most likely I'm gonna tell you I'm doing amazing. And I don't care how bad my day is, I'm doing amazing. I don't care what I'm going through, I'm doing amazing. As a matter of fact, for the last 20 years. My wife and I have been through so much, just with family and with health issues, and we've had people. I buried both of my parents since my wife and I have been married. Like, we've got grandkids. We've had to raise kids. Like, we've had so many people walk in and out of our life. We've been used and dogged and rejected, and oh my God, the stuff we have been through. But guess what? We still doing amazing. You know why? Because we are emotionally invested in our success. We are emotionally invested in having the money and the means to do the things we know we need to do. We are emotionally invested in building wealth. We are emotionally invested in doing business and understanding that whatever it is that we're doing, it's business. It's God's business. It's kingdom business. It's going to benefit the kingdom. It's going to benefit God. It's going to benefit his church. It's going to benefit his people. It's going to benefit the world. That's the business that I'm in. Do you see where I'm going with that? So you got to be able to check that box. And then professionally. Now, if you can check these boxes, all the other stuff is going to get easier. I promise you, all the other stuff is going to get easier. I know a lot of people who They structure the right businesses. They get their holding companies, their subsidiaries. They get their EIN numbers. They get their domains, their websites, their landing pages. They put a little marketing plan together. They get their QuickBooks account. They get their CRM. They get all this. They get their products and services packaged and priced correctly. And then they go out into the marketplace, and guess what happens? They start getting beat up. They start losing steam. They start getting disappointed. They start getting drugged. They start getting like just pounded. And guess what they do? They contract. They fall back. They give up. They throw in the towel. You know why? Not because they didn't have good marketing, not because they didn't have good products and services or sales or CRM or QuickBooks, not because they couldn't manage their income and expenses. It's because they didn't check these boxes. It's because they didn't have a spiritual foundation. They didn't have the depths or the capacity to handle what life is going to bring. And a lot of them are Christians and believers, men and women of God, and they didn't even think about the demonic and the satanic opposition they have to deal with. And they lost because they were ignorant of that. They were not aware of that. They weren't mindful of that. So professionally, you got to check in. So professionally, you may realize you're in the wrong business. Maybe you're in the wrong business. Maybe you just in the wrong business. Maybe you need to find something else that can give you an opportunity to get further down that road. Okay? So I'm going to stop right there. I'll come back tomorrow, but remember, we're having an event this weekend, Friday the 22nd, and then Saturday, 23rd. We're having two events this weekend, and both of them are free. And as I said, I believe, this is just my personal beliefs. You don't have to believe me on this. Let me say this before I close and go handle the rest of my day. Friday, the 22nd, this upcoming Friday, I'm hosting a one-night revival. If you are a Christian believer, if you are a man or woman of faith, and you believe that God has called you on any level to be successful, to get money, to build wealth, and to really do kingdom business in this world, in this marketplace, if you believe that, then you need to RSVP and join me this Friday. Of course, if you can make it here in person, it would be better. It's an experience for you. We've been announcing this and advertising this for a couple months now. But maybe you need to jump in a car and get here in person. Maybe you need to jump on a plane or a bus or a train and get here in person. Like, you need to start appreciating the opportunities that God is giving to you and the access that you have to get what you need for where God wants you to go. This is important. some things are going to require you to show up. Some things are going to require you to show up. Okay? And so this Friday, this one night revival, I'm going to be preaching. I'm going to be praying over you, laying hands, prophesying. We're going to have a school of prophets, acclamation and activation during this service. We're going to have worship. We're going to have singers. We're going to have intercessors in there. It's going to be a revival. It's going to be a moment to really revive you, to give you that spiritual reinvigoration and rejuvenation that you need. Like, I truly believe that God is going to give you something that sets you up for this new season and this new era that we're stepping into. You need that. You need that. You need that. Because there's a lot of demonic and satanic things going on. And you need some spiritual strength. You need some anointing. You need power to break through this thing, to get to where you need to go. And this Friday, I'm taking that time out. It's a free event. You just need to RSVP at Ramonepreston.com/event. Okay? Next, if you are planning to come, stay over Saturday to join me for our Millionaire Mastermind. I'm going to take 4 hours and I'm going to do a deep dive. And it's really going to be a consummation of all the things I'm talking about. We're going to be talking about those critical areas that you need to make corrections in. We're going to be talking about income classes. We're going to be talking about goal setting, dreaming big. We're going to talk about starting and structuring holding companies and operating them and managing them. We're going to be talking about systems and processes and products and services. We're going to have interactions during this Millionaire Mastermind. We'll have a few breakouts. We're going to have some powerful Q&A. All of our masterminds are powerful. We've never had a mastermind that wasn't powerful and impactful. This is going to be no different. It's going to be amazing, okay? I want you to be there. Now, one of the things, and I'll say this in closing, one of the things that I believe God is using this Friday and Saturday to do is to really reset. My wife and my personal assistant, she's been saying it for about a week or two now. And she didn't even know what God was already showing me and dealing with me about. But I truly believe this 2-day event, this Friday and Saturday, is going to be a reset that God is giving to me and to our next level family. Okay? This is something that's powerful, and I'm not going to go into details this week. I'm really waiting to share some of these things Friday, but we're entering a new era. That I'll just say that much. We're entering into a new era, and there is a movement that's taking place, and you don't want to miss it, especially if you know that God has called you. And let me be a little more specific. If God has connected us together, and you feel like He chose you to be in this community, in this tribe, in this ecosystem, it ain't just business. It ain't just business. So I don't care what you think it is. It ain't just business. It's ministry too. It's ministry too, because that's what I'm called to. I'm not just called to business. I might just come off to some people as a businessman, but what some people don't know is I'm an apostle. I'm a prophet. I'm a prophet. More importantly, I'm a prophet of God. I've been a prophet, and I've been operating in prophetic ministry, and that's what God called me to be. And I know what my assignment is as a prophet to the church, to the body of Christ, for our tribe and for our people. And so this weekend, this Friday event and Saturday event, God is going to use these two events to really reset our reformation. He's going to reset our movement. He's going to do that. And I'm super, super, super excited about it. All you have to do is RSVP, Ramonepreston.com/event. If for some reason, there is information beyond what we've shared with you that you need, or if you are unable to access any of the information for this Friday and Saturday, all you have to do is text the word millionaire and we'll reach back out to you and we'll provide whatever information you need and give you an opportunity to sign up for any of the programs that we have. So you can text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. I want all of our people to be millionaires. At least we should all want to be at least millionaires. Point blank period. So I love all of you and appreciate all of you. Mr. James Forbes on YouTube. How you doing, my friend? He said, we are blessed to be a blessing. Prosperity is a part of the covenant. Yes, it is. We need money to spread the gospel. Absolutely. There are still people in countries that have not heard the gospel. Yes, there are. Billions of people around this world that have not heard the gospel. James said, I am tired of my church having bake sales to fix the air conditioner. I just want to write a check to the pastor to fix the air conditioner. We can't depend on the wealth of the wicked to fix it. He said, I rock with you, Mr. Preston. Well, man, guess what? James, I rock with you as well. Appreciate you being a part of our community and our tribe, and for putting yourself in a position to accelerate what God has given to you and get to that next level. So for all of you that have watched the show today, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I hope you got something out of it. Please leave feedback, just like my friend James did. Put some feedback in the comments. Maybe there's a big takeaway you got from today's show. Leave that in the comments so that we can come back and read your comment. We love getting comments and feedback. If you have any questions, just drop the questions in the comments. Be sure, if you don't mind, to leave me a review. You could go to Google. If you go to Google, you can leave me a Google review, okay? I would love for you, if we've done anything to bring value to you, whether it's ministry or business, I would love for you to, and I'm asking you to leave me a Google review. So when you go to Google and you type in Ramonepreston Enterprises, my company is going to come up. And you will have an option to leave a star review or a Google review. So I'm asking that you would do that, if you would be so kind. Those Google reviews go a long way. Everybody checks Google before they do business with people. And that's why you always hear people say, Google me. Well, I want people to Google me and see Google reviews from people who are actually doing life with me, whether it's business or ministry or both, okay? And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. Follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can find me everywhere at Ramonepreston. We're going to be here tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way up to Friday. I'm super excited about what's going to happen this Friday and this Saturday. It's a new era for us. There's a reset taking place for us, those of us who have been called to impact the world through business, through ministry, through the marketplace, through entrepreneurship. But we need that impartation, and I'm making sure that I do my job to give you what God has given to me. So I love all of you, appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for showing up today on the show. Like, share, tag some family members and friends. Let them know that they need to come back and rewatch the video. And if there's anything we can do to help you, please be sure to text the word millionaire, or you could just call 404-478-7213. Love you. Have an amazing day. I'll see you same place, same time, right here tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon Eastern on the Ramone